If you liked the comedy horror movie Cocaine Bear, which is loosely inspired by the true story of an American black bear that ingested nearly 75 pounds of lost cocaine, you might get the sequel sooner than you expected. However, this time it might be the Cocaine Sharks, because we are talking about tons of blow. Let's introduce you to the fascinating world of narco submarines, then. A narco submarine, also known as a drug sub or narco sub, is a type of custom ocean-going, self-propelled, semi-submersible, sometimes fully submersible, vessel Colombian cartels use to smuggle drugs. Drugs are transported up the Pacific to Central America and then to the United States, across the Caribbean and across the Atlantic to Europe and East Africa. These narco subs can cost up to $2 million to build. Despite the costs, some of the craft are intended for one-time use, being abandoned at sea after a successful delivery, given that their cargoes carry a street value of up to $400 million. Authorities seized 31 narco submarines in 2021, up from 23 in 2019. This interdiction rate doesn't seem to affect these guys, as this phenomenon is reaching new heights. Boat engineers and designers, including recruits from Russia, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, are being paid big bucks by drug lords to oversee mass production of the subs in factories that are little more than massive sheds hacked out of remote corners of Colombia's jungle. Raw materials are brought in by motorboat from Cali, the cocaine capital of the world. The design of the subs has been tweaked over time to improve hydrodynamics and cocaine capacity. People like Moreno Ricardo, who became known as the Rey de los Semisumergibles, or King of the Submersibles, built some of the best of these improvised submersibles. Moreno Ricardo's constructions were huge, with the capacity to carry as much as 5 tons of cocaine at a time. He was arrested, but many others continue his trade. Almost all of these so-called submarines are actually low-profile vessels designed to avoid detection by riding low in the water. The majority of them do not completely submerge. Instead, a few feet of fiberglass protrudes from the water's surface. This alone makes them extremely difficult to see. Narco subs are classified into 4 types, based on whether they have inboard or outboard motors, and whether they are shaped like narrow powerboats or even thinner shafts, resembling sculling boats. The average narco sub is 45 feet long, made of fiberglass over a marine plywood frame, and weighs 7 tons. It can transport 1.6 tons of cocaine at a constant speed of 10 knots for thousands of miles without refueling. When fully loaded, 3/4 of the hull is submerged. The subs are painted dark grey or blue-green, making them almost invisible to spotter planes. When fully loaded with cocaine, only the small cockpit is visible above the water, making it difficult to spot from above or from other vessels. It also makes them difficult to detect on radar. An exhaust system directs the hot fumes produced by the engines into the water, where they are not detected by thermal detection equipment. They also travel slowly during the day to reduce the amount of wake they create. Life in a narco sub is no luxury cruise. During the 8 to 10-day voyages, the crew survives on canned food, crisps, bottled water, and the occasional gulp of fresh air. They either do their business on board or through the tiny cabin windows. The powerful and deafeningly loud diesel engines, along with thousands of gallons of fuel, are only a few feet away at all times, making the sub insanely hot. And not everyone survives the journey, and the drugs become shark food. Hence, the cocaine shark. Nonetheless, as enough of these vessels and their precious cargo get through to make the cartel's efforts worthwhile, the subs are becoming more sophisticated. On April 2022, a new kind of narco submarine emerged from the Arauca River. This submarine, at 6 meters long, is on the smaller end of the narco sub range, with a modest engine capacity and limited cargo space for storing drugs in comparison to standard models. However, unlike the majority of narco submarines, which are semi-submersible vessels with exhausts and ventilation pipes always above water level, it appears to be capable of completely disappearing below the waterline. Well, I'm not surprised. These guys have enough money and manpower to figure out how to build a space shuttle if necessary.